SalesSheros, where we champion women in sales. In today's episode, we're embarking on a journey into the heart of a sales strategy, the art of building a robust sales funnel, which is a completely critical component for anyone aiming to thrive in today's competitive landscape. LaDonna, how are you? How was your sales week?
My sales week is so great, doing lots of library updates at architects' offices. And my husband and I, because he's sharing he's sharing 8 lines that are complementary to my one manufacturing line. We did our first joint presentation today. It was so fun.
Oh my gosh, how was that?
It was so fun. And like my husband and I have been together for a long time. And he's been a purchasing manager and some other things, but he's never had an active sales role. He's done a lot of back end help and support for me. So watching him articulate and communicate through a presentation with designers on these really beautifully crafted lines was so empowering for me. It was awesome. We had so much fun. He did such a great job. And we're going to move that forward and do joint presentations. He has really beautiful products, and I have a beautiful product line from one manufacturer, but his are just stunning, different, really unique. Designers can do lots of custom stuff. So it was so fun. We had a blast. And then we had about a half an hour before our next appointment. And so we got to wander through Portland together, and it's beautiful and sunny. And we went into Powell's and bought a gardening book for our property. I mean, it was so fun. It was so fun. We had a blast.
It's like a date day, but at work, because you guys were both working.
Yes. It was really, really fantastic. It was so cool. It was really cool. I'm so sorry. My work. There we go. My work phone was ringing. I had to turn that off.
Hey, it's sales. Sales does not stop just because you're recording a podcast. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh, I'm excited that you guys did that though. That's super cool. And you guys have been waiting a long time to have this opportunity to work together in some capacity. So I'm super excited to see that you guys are doing that. What are we talking about today?
So today we're going to talk about what a sales funnel is, and just we're going to visit that. We're going to visit what a sales funnel is. I think there's so much information out there, oftentimes misinformation. We're going to talk about what's worked for us. So for those of you who have never dialed in, Angie and I both have collectively 60 years in sales experience. We look so beautiful. That makes us sound so old, but 30 years in sales experience each. We have found things that really work really well for us, and sometimes even different. Like I use a different approach than Angie, but we're going to share things that have worked for us with the intention that it help you build your sales funnel. So Ange, what is a sales funnel? Why don't you just touch on that?
Yeah, it's interesting because, in sales, we all have different slang and verbiage that we use. So what one person says, the other person might not understand what we're talking about. So let's break it down. What is a sales funnel? So it's the visual representation of a customer's journey, depicting the sales process from awareness to action. So the idea that every sale begins with a large number of potential customers, there's a funnel, and then ends with a much smaller number of people who actually make a purchase. So there's where the funnel kind of comes together, and then comes down to where you're actually closing a sale. Hurrah! And there you go. So obviously we need a ton of people in the funnel, because as it gets smaller down below, only a few actually buy. So let's talk about how we're going to build one, all of the information around why they're important, and how we use them.
Yeah, perfect. Defining your target audience is kind of the first stage of building a sales funnel. You need to know who you're going to funnel into your sales funnel, right? Who's going to be in that big pool that Angie was just talking about. So really the importance of defining your target audience is pretty crucial in having the maximum success in your territory. Some people's territories are huge, right? You might be selling online and it's very vast. You need to still understand who your ideal customer is, what motivates them. That's really fundamental in crafting a successful sales funnel, is who's your target audience, what motivates them. And then without that clarity, your marketing efforts can miss the mark, resulting in wasted resources and really big missed opportunities. And oftentimes that can lead to failure in your career. It might be failure. You're not producing numbers, then things don't move forward, and you're out of a job. That's how it works. Right. As a salesperson, we're always tied to a number. We're always tied to producing. There's variables that our management supports, but it can be stressful to be in sales. So this is even more crucial, is that you know who your audience is, and you always be filling your cup so that you don't ever run out, right? Run out. because when you run out of sales.
Right. And that's when you panicked, and that's when you have the scarcity
Yes.
mindset, and nobody wants to be selling with that scarcity mindset and that sense of urgency, because that's when you panic. You're not your most productive. You really are not able to succeed as quickly and efficiently. And that's our whole goal, I think, with this too, is learning from our mistakes. We want to be
Yes.
more efficient in sales. So yeah, that's
Yes.
definitely it. And the funnel, I mean, I got to work on that all the time too. Every year we have to work on the funnel, and are we filling? And then throughout the year, are you adding more people? Are you adding more people to your funnel?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, because we don't want to have those missed opportunities. What are some ways that you define your target audience, Angie?
Yeah, so I've tried a lot through the years, and I think you and I kind of align well on this one. I use a method, you guys can Google it, but it's the ABC method. And basically, you're grouping. So in corporate sales, I have a list of accounts that I'm targeted across 3 states. So I do travel for all of that in the cybersecurity world. And so I have to figure out, I live in Oregon, but how can I figure out how to reach people in the Bay Area where I go to? So this is where kind of you have to look at your account list and group it up. If you're in MLM or something where your target audience is everyone on the internet, you have to figure out, like, first a starting point. You can't just boil the ocean with everyone. So on the ABC method, group A is the first thing that I go and target with. And that's the list of top producing accounts that I currently have in my region that I feel or have done some research on, that will need my product or services. So these are like that. They call it the low hanging fruit, the ones you can call quickly, and reach out to. So most people sort of, by kind of a history of descending accounts, ones that you're currently selling into, but could definitely be probably buying some more product from you. So some people start with their current accounts, current customers. How can I expand it? That's the group A piece of it. That low hanging fruit. Group B, those are like the accounts in the middle of the road, from a revenue perspective, accounts that you have maybe have sold into in the past. So former customers that you don't really talk to today. But you kind of want to get back in relationship and start selling back into them. Some that you haven't seen huge growth with. You've only sold like maybe a fraction of what you actually do. You obviously will value their business, but you want to ensure that you're keeping them loyal and reaching back out to them if they are like a former customer. So that group B is kind of like the second tier of my funnel. Group C, these are the big ones. This is the one that this year I'm focusing a lot on. These are going to be the smaller kind of accounts I don't really have relationships with. I don't know who they are. I don't have any friends that work or are connected to them. So I'm really considering them my white space. I have to hunt. I have to research. I have to do my due diligence to get the intel on those group C's, to put them in my funnel so that I can start nurturing them down the funnel to come down to me. So yeah, from that perspective, how do you feel about the ABC? Do you kind of, in the design world, are you kind of categorizing them as like current
Yeah.
customer, former customer? Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because I sell to different segments. So I sell to end use, and then there's segments in that area. So maybe that's municipalities, like city, state, school districts. Like, so that's my end use pool, right? And that's all of Oregon and Southwest Washington. Well, then I also have dealers. Dealers are the people who purchase my product. So I don't sell directly to end users, and I don't sell directly to A&D. So I have to do the ABC method, but I also have to break it down into my end use target accounts, my end use accounts that I'm actually working with. I have to break it down into my dealer accounts. And then I have the ABC approach with the dealer accounts, right? My strong dealers that I'm going to focus on, that I'm going to take some joint projects into, right? Because I'm also calling on architect and design, who is then specifying my product. So it's really important to understand, like, if you're new in something, you want to really understand what the sales process looks like before even building your funnel. So that's something that you would work with, like, your regional manager or sideline salespeople to say, hey, you've been doing this a long time. How do you, like, having a full state or multiple states that's a lot of geography to cover, right? So that's where the ABC method works so great.
Yeah.
So you may have to do it in segments. Like, I have to do it, but I do it in segments. So I just think it's important to understand what you're selling and what the process in your sale is, right?
That's true. That's true. The process piece, it totally comes into play as well because I do by each state and then I have to break down my customer lists or contact lists by each state and then ABC them and then travel plans. So it is a lot of planning and mapping. And if you understand the process as well, that's going to add that intel that you need. And that kind of jumps right into the next one for us is once you really have identified your target audience, you need to create awareness, right?
Yeah.
These people need to know who you are. So for us, selling in another state is challenging. I don't live there. They don't know me. I have to Google sometimes the weather or the sports to have a conversation with them. But you want to make sure that you're identifying and create awareness around your brand and your offerings, exploring effective marketing tools, leveraging social media, content marketing, advertising to attract potential customers to your business and drive interest in what we offer. So in the tech world, it's a little weird because you can work for a company, corporate, that has great marketing. They're all over the place. They're sometimes in airports. They're all over the place. Then you can work for a company that has no marketing, no budget. So you are marketing, right? So the people in California are only going to know me, Angie Gonzalez at company XYZ, if I'm down there talking to people, creating awareness about who I am, what we're selling, who I'm connected to, right? And that can be really discouraging if you don't know, or have the organization on a sales funnel, I should say, if you don't really understand the process. So that's why I think your point of having that process first will help with the target audience and with the creating awareness. Would you share a little bit about your best practices around social media and how you're utilizing that?
Yeah, well, and it's evolving and always changing. I'll say that. So social media and each platform is a little bit different. So today I'm going to talk mostly about LinkedIn because on working for a corporate working for in any platform, LinkedIn is a great model if you're in sales. It's great for network marketing. It's great for entrepreneurs. It's great for solopreneurs. It's a great platform. But today I'm speaking from a corporate sale because this is an overwhelming topic. So I want to say that this is an overwhelming topic, but I want to break it down so that you have some actionable things to walk away with because, and I'm going to speak specifically to LinkedIn. Even though you're sharing for a corporation, you want to be really thinking about what your personal brand is, your expertise, your professionalism, not just product focused. So Angie's talking about some companies do a ton of marketing, some companies do less marketing. I've worked for both. I've worked for companies that do mass marketing. I've worked for companies that do very little marketing. And what I've learned through all of that in the 30 years, I've also done network marketing. I've also published a book and sold a book. I've also done some consulting and coaching. So this is true for all of this. You have to know who you are and then decide what your brand is that you're going to show up with and as. So LinkedIn, I'm very specific to my corporation, but with my personal brand, I share pieces of me. I engage with and what does that mean, right? So maybe it's a motivational Monday where I'm sharing pieces of what I do for personal development. It's not just product focused. Maybe it's inspiration around going to a meeting or being on, I'm on the board for IIDA. So maybe it's something in relation to something that's going on in the world of IIDA where we have some great event coming up. And so I'm kind of sharing some pieces of that. Maybe it's sharing pieces that are marketing pieces that have been put out by my company that I want to share as myself. And I'll put out a piece about products. So you have to find kind of what your 4 to 5 pillars are that you want to stay focused on. I love gratitude. I'm a positive person and I'm not a fake positive person. We have bad days. I have bad days. I just don't share as much on those days. I believe in sharing a positive message with the world. So sometimes I have to take a breath and not be so focused on being on social media. But my point in that is that I want to share a consistent message of positivity, of love and light, of supporting and providing service, while also then dripping in things about my product. Maybe it's a new product that launches. Maybe it's something that's environmentally focused around my product. So I want to share valuable content. I want to connect with my customers in meaningful interactions and responding promptly to inquiries and to comments that are made. So I don't spend all my day on LinkedIn, of course, but I do have an alarm that buzzes in my phone that just says, hey, reminder, get on LinkedIn. And I'll get on LinkedIn and I'll engage with my customers. I'll kind of float through and genuinely engage. If it's not interesting to me, I don't say anything, right? But if it's interesting to me, like, this is really cool. Anchor Moisten is an architecture firm, and they have designers, and I work with them, and I think they're great. And they're doing, a highlight on women in leadership, and they're doing these 5-minute, like, 5-minute trainings on female leadership and how they're showing up. And I just think that that's so cool. I saw it today, and I'm going to share those as those pop out this week, because I think that's really cool, right? Like, their experiences in their career and what they've done to be leading women even outside of their own company. So it's connecting in a positive, healthy way and staying in tune to kind of what's going on with our customers. Social selling tools and platforms like LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I'll use that to identify and connect with potential leads. So I'm also looking, it's physically impossible for me to see every school district, every state agency, every library. That's someone I would sell to, would be a library. I can't see the facilities managers in all of those areas. So I have to get focused on being more specific. But connecting on LinkedIn is a smart place to do it, because then they'll start to see my brand story. Who's LaDonna? What is her experience in the industry? Oh, she looks like an easy person. Looks like she helps her customers. Looks like she has product that might be aligned with what I need. And then you'll start getting those calls from people. Hey, I saw that Kinetics product that you shared. That's different than anything I've ever seen. Can you run a sample buy? Those are the kind of things that start to happen when you show up.
Awesome that you. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to step on your voice there, but that is awesome that you mentioned Sales Navigator, because LinkedIn. Okay, so listeners, if your company, check with your company if you get a discount code or a free LinkedIn Sales Navigator connection, because Sales Navigator, I think there's a fee to it. But what it is if you don't know, is you actually it's tied to LinkedIn. It's like a CRM tool. You can type in, let's just say, Home Depot. We're just going to use an example. You can type in the company of Home Depot. You can filter who you're looking for, like executives or whatever level of title they are. You can look them up by geography, like when I'm in the Bay, who is there that I can reach out to. And it'll populate the most up-to-date version that they have of who is in that company in Home Depot in California for a C-level executive. And it'll give me those names. So then with that information, you can click on their link, takes you right back to LinkedIn. It kind of bounces back and forth, takes you right back to their LinkedIn profile. You can send them a message. And then if you are in a corporate company that has a Sales Navigator tie-in, you can also add that contact in your CRM tool like Salesforce or something like that. So it saves that contact name for you. So if you're, as sellers, we're kind of on our own, we need all of these tools to be helping us effectively. To your point, you can't reach out to every single architect out there or even person at the library. So it's definitely important to utilize those tools. So thank you for bringing up Sales Nav, because I use that all the time.
Yeah. And I feel like in corporate sales, that's probably one of the best tools is LinkedIn and Sales Navigator to really find the people. I find people, I've been working in this territory for 22 months and, I still am finding people all the time through that. The next thing that I wanted to just remind people to do is to measure and analyze your online presence and engagement metrics to refine your approach and improve results over time. And with LinkedIn, there's a ton of training. So you can do LinkedIn training directly through LinkedIn that's free. So if you're uncomfortable with LinkedIn, just find some of the free tools on LinkedIn that teach you how to use the platform in an effective and healthy way for you in your business. But I will say, stretch yourself and show up. I watch a lot of people. We worked in network marketing and we worked on a team that was heavily taught how to use like Instagram and Facebook and then TikTok when TikTok was coming out and how to really build a brand around that. And so you have to show up in a bigger way online. And I think in corporate, sometimes we feel nervous about doing that. You want to be relevant, but you want people to see you. And in order to do that, sometimes you have to kind of overpost. So there's like a gentle balance on LinkedIn. So just use some of those training tools and then really hone in on your personal brand. I am not just posting things about my company and my corporate name. And here's why, because I may not always be with the company that I'm with. I can't guarantee that their success. That I mean, I really love where I work and I hope to be here for a very long time, but I can't guarantee that it's always going to be my manager that's above me. Maybe I get someone I don't totally love and I don't want to work with, that isn't aligned with my value proposition. There are lots of reasons why we may move from one company to a new company. And so I think it's really important to really focus on building your brand and then align the products that you are selling with your brand, because your brand stays with you. Like, I can work in my industry in this territory for anyone and be successful as long as it's a good company, because I'm successful in my approaches and people know me and my company is second to that. And I just think that's really important as a sales rep. You, especially when you don't work for yourself, I think that you treat it like it's your business, treat it like your brand, and do some personal branding.
And I think LinkedIn has become a little bit more, I'm in the cyber world, so I deal with a lot of technical engineers, and they're very rigid of like, here's just, this is a business platform, professional business platform only. So obviously there isn't a lot of food posts unless you're in the food genre. So in the circle that I run with, I do post a lot of my work because we have a lot of webinars and things of that nature, and I'm trying to reach the masses. But then I also am trying to post things that are relevant to cybersecurity trends, marketing trends, articles I've read, breaches that I've heard about, ransomware attacks that are coming up. That's not specific to my company, but it's specific to the industry that I'm in. So if I ever was to shift companies or anything like that, I would have the branding is still there, where this is still what I do. People could go to it and go, oh yeah, she's in the cyber world, might not understand everything she's doing, but I get it. So to your point, I do feel that LinkedIn is shifting a little bit from that very rigid professional to we're humans behind this app. So people can share. We can collectively come together on topics as well. So yeah, I do the same thing as you do on that one.
Yeah. Capturing leads. I think that's where we were gonna. Yeah. No. Yeah. Take that one over.
Yeah. So going back to the funnel, and this is why we wanted to talk about the sales funnel, right? Is because it's so important. We're only as good as the last sale, right? You're only as good as the last sale you did. Now the clock starts over and you're hunting again. So filling up our sales funnel is what you and I do consistently, or work hard to do all the time. But how do we really do that? So again, on the corporate side, capturing leads for corporate sales, we have to be strategic. And that's kind of why we're talking about this and sharing it today. But I did kind of research about 5 different ways to kind of effectively have a strategy around capturing leads. So 1, target content marketing. We've talked about this on other podcasts before. You want to have valuable content related to what your brand is first, to LaDonna's point, and then what your company is. So my industry is cybersecurity. I'm Angie Gonzalez, and then what my company has. So target content marketing is one. The second one, we are big on this, networking and relationship building. That's huge. Going down to the Bay Area, or when you're traveling across Oregon, having someone there that you know that can bridge an intro to someone else is wonderful. The third thing was strategic partnerships. That comes back to the same thing. Networking and relationship building leads to strategic partnerships. Have someone introduce you into accounts. Personalized outreach and follow-up with LaDonna's Sales Navigator comment. You can utilize that to have a personalized outreach to people you don't know. And then back to LaDonna's last statement about measuring is we have to utilize the data and the analytics around lead capturing, because you have to know what's working and what isn't working, and when to pivot on, I'm spending too much time on this, it's not yielding me financial results, right? That's why we're in sales, financial results. So from that point, I just wanted to list kind of 5 of those. LaDonna, I know that there's a few that can kind of be tacked onto that as well, but those are the 5 that kind of resonated with me.
Yeah, I love that. LinkedIn outreach, utilizing LinkedIn's advanced search features. We talked about that a bit, using Navigator, personalizing your approach when you send messages out is it called Messenger on there? Isn't that funny? I don't even know. On LinkedIn, I use that.
I don't think it has a title, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe not.
I just call it Messenger.
I call it Messenger. In Message. I think it might be called in. I think it's called In Message. I just had this kind of blank.
In Message.
In Message. So using In Message to message people, You can get as specific as birthdays for your connections, but really using that as a platform to reach directly to. I don't use it as much because I think that I have a paid program for LinkedIn, but I do feel like I run out of in messages without paying for in messages.
Yeah,
So
you only get so many. You only get so many. I just Googled it on my page. It is LinkedIn messaging, but then
okay.
when you pay, you only get so many in messages that you can send out per month.
Yeah, so I'll use those. So I try to be strategic with those because I know they'll run out at some point. I'm not just sending 10 birthdays on one day. I'll look at the people and then I'll pop over to a message like an email or something and say happy birthday to the people that I feel comfortable saying happy birthday to. I don't just happy birthday everybody because that just feels a
I
little
get
too.
them from people that I've never met before. I'm like,
Yeah, that feels
thanks,
weird.
Bob. Thanks,
Yeah,
Chad. Thanks,
yeah,
Sarah. Like, I don't even know these people. But I'm like, thanks for my birthday or thanks for,
yeah.
I love the anniversary ones on LinkedIn. It'll give you anniversary notices.
Yes.
And you're like, hey, LaDonna, congratulations on your anniversary from, Shaw's Flooring. And you're like, girl, I haven't been there in 2 years. Like, what
Yeah,
is going on?
yeah,
But it just
totally.
goes to show the people that they need to keep their profiles updated, right?
Yeah.
So,
So,
oh well.
and speaking to that, personalize your outreach messages. Make sure they're authentic and real and genuine connections. It's really good to start to understand the challenges of your customers. Like the more you can understand, and the easiest way to understand the challenges of your customers is when you're with your customers. Ask them what they need help with, what they feel the biggest struggle with is. I say this a
Right.
lot. Like, what's your like in working with a rep of my caliber? What are the things that are the most important to you? What are some of the favorite practices of the reps that you enjoy working with the most, because then it teaches me about them and it's specific to each person. Like there are some things that kind of cross over, but so just understand their challenges. And in doing that, you can ask those questions when you meet with people. What are you facing the most that you're needing help with? Where do you feel like you're having the largest amount of challenges right now?
Yeah, that's a great one. And I think that's important for us for sure. One of the ones that also is really helpful is networking events and conferences. And you and I are big on this. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to go to those. I don't want to go to those events. They're boring. I don't know anyone. You and I mean, we've had to come out of our shell at conferences to meet other people. And we've been to some that we've paid a lot of money for, right? And
Yes.
we went to some that were free. So I think attending industry specific events and conferences where you could meet and network with your potential corporate clients is key. I was just in Seattle at an executive event a week ago, and I was kind of him-hawing around like, oh, I really got to go. But then I was so excited because there was like 20 contacts that I've been trying, that I've never met before, that I've been trying to meet with. And I had them for one full day in and out of this conference to say, hi, who are you? How are you? Just connect with them as a human to human, which we know that that's where all of it comes from, relationship building. But yeah, be prepared. I needed to be prepared. So be prepared if you attend conferences or networking events. Know your elevator pitch. Even if you're in MLMs, you still know what your product is and what it is that is the product that you want to focus on selling to people, right? So just have that quick elevator pitch or some sort of compelling value prop to engage them in that conversation. Because at the end of the day, it's really about capturing the leads. You're capturing the leads to put in the funnel. So that way you can have the sales that'll come trickling out, right? So it's a little bit different than just building your brand. I know we talked about that before, building your brand networking events where you're just focus on your personal, getting out there, meeting LaDonna meeting Angie. How can we build together? This is different. We're talking about networking conferences for yourself to meet your customers, your future customers, and your prospects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Webinars and workshops. That's another great way is to host webinars or workshops on topics relevant to your target audience. I'm going to say also not relevant. Like tomorrow I'm hosting a perfume event and we have 17 designers coming. It's joint. I'm doing it with other reps. Isn't that fun? So they get to build their signature scent and it's a spring event and it's really cool. And the people I'm doing it with are really cool. And the designers who signed up are really cool. So isn't that fun? Yay! So, I mean, not necessarily, isn't that fun? So not necessarily relevant to flooring. I sell flooring and one of my friends that's doing this with me sells furniture. But I mean, what a fun way for us to connect, have fun. We're together. We have a professional that is teaching the class. It's a workshop on building your own signature scent with essential oils. And then they get to walk away with their own perfume, their own personal
And then we're going
scent.
to remember you
Yes.
for this thing that they don't get asked to do very often, if ever.
Yes.
Right? That's new to me that I'm hearing about those kind of events. I mean, in the tech world, we have a lot, we don't have as many women as we should. So it would be weird. Hi, gentlemen, come and, I mean, maybe they would like that. But I think that's really cool because they will now remember you as the rep. Oh, what do you do again? You're the flooring rep that helped them do this fun perfume event. I think that's brilliant.
Isn't that fun? Yeah. And so we did it. We hosted one last year and it went well. So we're like, let's do it again. And you promote these events through targeted emails, right? Targeted email campaigns. We created an Eventbrite, and then we had a list of people we were going through until we filled our spots, and then it was closed, right? There were just that many tickets available, for free for them. It's a free event for them. And so, I mean, that's just a really great way to network and offer something that is fun for them. I mean, another one that I hosted last year, which has been hosted by a corporate for the last like 7 years. We trademarked Helping Hands, which is a Christmas tree event. We pick a hospital that we give away Christmas trees to kids. That one's so fun. I did my first one last year, and oh my gosh, I'm going to do it again every year as long as I'm here, because it's J&J, my company that I work for. It's their signature event. And we did 30 trees for children at Dornbecker, and our architects and designers, we had 30 firms represented. Or it was just under 30 firms because a couple had like multiple teams and did more than one tree. But so they built a tree for the children. Like one of our firms built this marble tree, and it was a way for us to get together. It was a way for them to get together and collaborate while they built the tree, right? Because they did teams. It was just a little 3-foot tree, and then we had a party with the trees, and then we got to take the trees to the hospital, and and a few of our people got to meet the children, right? So what an amazing give back, right? It's a give back as a community. It's a way for us to collaborate. We didn't talk about flooring. We didn't talk about tile. One of my friends that did it with me is a tile rep. My other friend has another product, Evie Bradley. We didn't talk about product at all. It's just networking and getting to know each other. And then at some point, I mean, you work with who you know, like, trust. How do you build the know, like, trust factor? It's webinars, workshops, finding ways to show up creatively for your people, even outside of just what you sell and what your knowledge is around your products.
I love that. And I think anytime we can give back, I mean, I think that's as humans what we're supposed to be here to do. So
Yes.
You can incorporate give back into what you're doing every single day, just humbles us all. Mm-hmm. One thing I like to do is have a referral program. So you can establish referral programs. This will really help with your funnel too, right? Establish a referral program with existing clients, incentivizing them to refer other businesses in their network to our company. You can offer discounts, rewards for successful referrals, encourage participation. I always like to ask a simple question, hey, LaDonna, do you have anyone that you know in your industry that could also benefit from what I helped you with? Super simple question. You'd come back going, oh yeah, maybe Bob down the street. I heard him talking something about this issue, right? Oh, would you mind brokering an intro with Bob? I would love to, do that. And for every broker you give me as an intro on, I would love to give you a gift card for DoorDash or something like that, right? One night you don't have to cook. And I think that referral programs, I think that a lot of people used to say, I'm not really comfortable asking other people, or in our business, it's very confidential. I can't go tell some companies what I'm doing with other companies, right? We have NDAs all over the place. Right. So asking my customer after I've helped them, hey, would you mind, or is there anyone in your circle that would be also interested in having this solution or getting some help on XYZ? And so the referral programs, I think, are fantastic. I mean, how many of us go back to the coffee place that is out of our way just to get one more stamp, because eventually you get another 10-ounce free coffee? That's a referral program. It's a stamp card, right? And then giving out those things. So yeah, I think referrals are great, and implementing that strategy can definitely effectively capture the leads in the corporate sales, I know for sure, and add them to your funnel.
Yeah, I love that. Nurturing leads. Yeah, nurturing leads. This is so important, right? And what does that mean? I have had to really look at like how many people I'm calling on and pare it down right now because I'm working on, am I really nurturing my leads? Am I taking great care of the people who are already buying from me? And the answer to my question when I asked myself that was no. I was spread too thin. I was doing too much. I had to pare it down and really like decide who is going to get my time right now. The people that have already utilized me as I'm continuing because you can get focused too wide and then you're not taking great care of the people who are already taking care of you. So going deep and wide in my events, or I mean with my accounts is really important so I can get to know them. So how do you nurture them? By getting to know them, by figuring out when birthdays are and what's going on in their lives, having a personal connection to them, because you can have your leads in your hand, but it's really crucial to nurture them through the sales funnel. Another way to do it is like, I'm going to start a monthly newsletter, for each of my segments so that I can just quickly send that out. I use Constant Contact and some of those fall on deaf ears, but the majority of those will get to where they need to get to with relevant information each month. Maybe it's a new product launch. Maybe it's a new environmental initiative. But you need to build trust with your customers with interested offers, ultimately guiding them closer to making a purchase, right? Like, and for the people that are already purchasing from you, maybe you're not guiding them toward a purchase, but you're nurturing your relationship with them so that they continue to drive business your way.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And once you do that, once you're nurturing those leads, it's important to deliver the value. To your point,
Yes.
you were touching on this a little bit too, is once a customer, like we've talked about our sales funnel at the top, we're stuffing all these people in, we're going out and doing all the work too. And then it's trickling down to where you're really weeding through the people and nurturing those leads, keeping them happy. And then what do you do then? The customer's now made a purchase. Now what? So you want to deliver the value. And this is important. We're all consumers, every single one of us. So how many times did you buy something, even at the local grocery store, and the person didn't say bye or didn't even say anything? They're just like, hand your receipt, and then they go on to the next one. They're very robotic. You kind of leave there going like, oh, well, that was weird, right?
Yeah.
Like who am I? Like, you're not even recognizing me. So delivering the value is so important. Once a customer's made a purchase, the journey just does not stop there. It is so important to deliver beyond the sale, ensuring positive customer experience and deliver on the promises. And I always tell my customers that too. I'm only as good. I can tell you anything I want, but I need to have the actions speak louder than my words. So don't trust me, Mr. Customer, coming in. Let my actions and our relationship grow, show you that I'm here for you in the long haul. And I think that will really help get that customer service and foster loyalty, because at the end of the day, you want those repeated customers. And if there is nothing more to sell that customer, you can sell to their friends, their family, their other customers. Like you want other people fishing for you. Like that's our job. Teach people to fish and they will come and fish for you, right? And then they send the leads your way. And then you go back to LaDonna's comment of nurturing those leads, those warm leads.
Yeah, valuable.
Very important. We want that repeat business for sure.
Yeah, and you want to retain those customers. So speaking of repeat business, retaining customers is the key to long-term success. We want to encourage repeat purchases and foster those long-term relationships with our customers, which will turn them into loyal brand advocates who we can help drive future growth. And then that's how the funnel works. It just is this perpetual cycle, right? I mean, that's
exactly.
This felt,
and it doesn't stop. And another thing too is, I think you've seen this too. You're just and I know we've talked about a lot of stuff on this one, and people definitely message us with clarity questions that you have. We're happy to clarify some things if you were confused, but just because I'm building my funnel at this job, at this company with this account list, doesn't mean I'm just stopping if I go somewhere else or do something else. My funnel is still my funnel. I will still reach out to these people at another company or another product to see if they need my help and services. And what I've done along the way is build loyalty about who I am as a seller, right? My customers know they can count on me no matter what. I might not know the answer, but heck, I'll go find it and I'll make sure you have it. So that repeatable sales, this process, to your point, that repeatable process is so important in sales and the success in sales, because that way when you jump to somewhere new, they'll go, oh, I don't care what LaDonna's selling. I want to work with her again because she was so amazing at the last company she was at. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's really, really helpful too. So yeah, I mean, we've covered a lot on this kind of comprehensive blueprint for mastering the sales funnel and driving business growth. And we want you guys to remember, success in building a sales funnel, it lies in understanding your audience and providing the value at every single stage of that process. And that's really important as well. So thank you, SalesSheros. We're excited to have had this conversation with you today. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. We're opening up our LinkedIn, and I know we've got some freemiums coming soon where we're going to be dropping some content for you guys that's free to help your sales journey as well. So keep selling, and we will talk to you next time. LaDonna, anything to close us out?
Happy selling.
Bye.